What's up, you guys? My name is Aperture, and this is my very first No Man's Sky video. For those of you that have been living under a rock, No Man's Sky is I guess it's a space exploration game. It's a survival game or first-person shooter, kind of however you prefer to play it. I personally see it as a survival game. You'll see that a lot of the game is based around survival, and once you can kind of master the survival portion of the game, then that's when you get into the exploration, the shooting, trading. There's even economic aspects to this game. So you'll see here, this is how you start the game. And I'm going to kind of try to skip through a little bit of it because the first parts of the game maybe aren't the most interesting because it's kind of the tutorial, if you will. But what I like about this game is the tutorial isn't necessarily like a normal tutorial, where a normal tutorial might, spoon feed you. This is how you look. This is how you walk. This one, not like that at all. It still kind of leaves you wondering what you need to do. But it's a good thing because it kind of gives you a sense of accomplishment when you do figure out how to do things all on your own. So right here, this is the planet that I spawned on. It's called Huglun Reckheading. I'm not sure how to pronounce a lot of the things in this game, but you see there, that is the ship that I start off with. And the very first thing you need to do is get your spaceship fixed. So in this game, you have mining, and the mining might be fuel for your ship, or it might be materials to fix things or power them up. So right here, I'm still, obviously don't know what's going on. And, I may try to skip through a little bit of this stuff. But you see right there, ship is broken, cannot fix it, and I need to repair it with some sheets you see right there. Okay, so you see right there, I need the Carite sheets. So to make the Carite sheets, I need to go gather materials. I believe what I have to gather right here is iron. So you see I'm just kind of searching around. There you go, new technology. So throughout the entire game, you're going to be able to gather technology. So it's kind of like, like a crafting recipe if you're familiar with Minecraft. You need to find the actual recipe before you can start building it. So there's technology for your multi-tool, which can, be your gun. It can be your mining tool. It can be your scanner, or sort of like a set of binoculars where you can look and catalog creatures and vegetation. The second set of things you can add technology to is your suit. So with your suit, you can gain extra inventory slots. And the inventory slots are incredibly useful because you can, shift around more materials, buy, trade more materials at any given time. And one of the most important things about your, having extra slots in your suit is you can also add more technology to that. So, better protection for yourself, better life support, and it's actually where you can recharge your health. And then the final and biggest piece of technology that you can add on to is your ship. And so your ship will have, abilities just like your multi-tool does, where it can scan. It has weapons. So, you might want to focus more on space mining, so you can add technology to mine asteroids in space, which you'll see in a little bit. Or probably one of the more important things about your ship is the hyperdrive. That's how you get from, star to star. And you can actually add on more technology to your hyperdrive, so you can, make bigger jumps or There's even certain star systems where you need, a better hyperdrive to be able to get to them. So, you'll see in a second, I am going to fix the ship, and then I also have to fuel the ship. The fuel for the ship, it's very common. You'll see it everywhere. It's, I believe it's plutonium that you have to mine. And the plutonium grows in big red crystals all over the place, and they're pretty common. But you always need to have the plutonium on you. I ran into a problem where I wasn't paying attention to how much plutonium I had, and I got stuck without it, and I needed to go on a little hike and almost died. So that was, I think, that was the first time I almost died. And I wasn't paying attention. So there's little things, you have to pay attention to throughout the game so that you don't die and you're able to survive. I would say that the two most important things are, of course, like you have your life support system, which when it runs out, you're going to start taking damage from the environment. And then the other most important thing is having fuel for your ship. If you don't have fuel for your ship, you're not getting anywhere. You aren't getting off the planet, and you certainly aren't going to be making any hyper jumps. Okay, so you see here, I am trying to gather some iron. I believe that's what I needed to create those sheets to fix my ship. So you see there up in the top right, that's the weapon's heat. So once it hits the top, it overheats and I can't shoot. So this is a big rock, and it's gonna yield a lot of iron for me. So you'll see I'll break in a second. Let's see. Okay, there you go, and I got 88 iron just from that bust, and then I think I probably got over 100 for the whole time. So I'm going to go back to the ship, and let's see if I can fix it right here. I don't recall what happens. Okay, so I jump in the ship. I think I was still trying to figure it out right here. And this is like what I said earlier. It doesn't spoon feed you everything that you should know. You still kind of have to figure things out. And one of the things I do like about that is that it kind of gives you a sense of accomplishment when you do figure it out yourself. And I think if you were to, have some severe issues, I think it probably does lead you on a little bit, so you can figure out what you need. So you see right there, that's my scanner, and this is the menu. So you see there, those are all my slots for my exosuit. And those are all the materials I have. Got a lot of iron, some plutonium, some thallium. Okay, so I had to open up some slots and see I'm transferring it to my starship. You can actually transfer items from your inventory right into your starship. So, your starship's going to have a little bit more inventory space than your exosuit will have. So, that's good, when you're down on the planet mining, you have some extra space on your ship, and you can actually just, shift it right over, no problem. And, you'll be able to gather more materials. So you see there, all the materials I had in my exosuit are now in my starship. So right there, you can see the recipes for what I need. So right there, I need 3 more Carite sheets. And there you go. I've got the 4 sheets, and I'm going to repair it. So there you go. The thruster is fixed, and I need plutonium to fuel it right there. So that launch thruster, what that's going to do for you is that's what gets you off the ground. You don't necessarily need it to fly around. You just need it to get up and down. And I think each time you take off, it's about 25% of the total fuel. So if you have it 100% fueled up, that'll give you about 4 liftoffs. So you're going to need quite a bit of plutonium, and that's why it's good to have that just on hand at any given time, or at least be near some. So you see right there, that's my life support, and you can charge that with, I think, either carbon, thallium, or plutonium. It's, pretty easy to recharge it, and I don't think you really need that much. So the final thing I need right here is the pulse engine to be fixed. And so that's going to require a different material. You have the blue materials are a silicate. The yellow materials are an oxide. And then the red materials are like an energy type material. And, you're going to get pretty used to, all the different types of, I guess, elements in the game. Some are going to be things you're familiar with, like carbon right there, or iron, titanium, gold. But you just kind of need to learn where you're going to find this stuff. I'm still not like 100% certain on where you find, certain materials, but one thing I do know is that you're going to find plutonium, the fuel for your ship. You're going to find that on every planet. Because if you couldn't, the game would be broken. You would not be able to fly anywhere if you got stuck on a planet with no plutonium. So you're going to be able to find that anywhere. You're just going to need to make sure that you know where it is. And one of the ways you can do that is by scanning. And you see right there, my scanner's actually broken. So that's one of the technologies I need to fix. And the scanners are going to be pretty important for you because it'll be able to scan a further distance than you're able to see, or maybe scan behind a mountain or under the ground. Like let's say you need some plutonium for your ship, you're out. You can press the scanner button and it'll send out like a little pulse. It'll show you where some nearby plutonium might be. But it'll just show, it's like an energy icon. So it may be carbon, it may be thallium. You just got to travel over there to see what it is. So you see right there, I fixed it. Okay, so let's see if I can find, I believe that's emerald right there. When you scan, there's, like I said, there's, silicates, which are blue. And then there's oxides, which are yellow. And then energy, which is red. And then there's another type that I've seen where it's, I guess, like a neutral. And it highlights green. I haven't really found so far too much use for the green items, except they tend to be very valuable when you're trading it, up at your space stations or to other traders. So sometimes, you'll get more familiar with how expensive an item might be. Like gold is pretty valuable, and that's a neutral item. And you can find gold like in like a nugget form, or sometimes it'll grow like in a crystal, and you can sell it for a pretty good profit. You'll see a little bit later, I end up finding a planet that has got just these massive gold spires everywhere, and you can mine it up. I think I make like 150,000 credits or units, I'm not dollars, up at a space station. So that might be what you like to do. You might like to mine the materials, bring them up, trade them, or you might like to be a pirate, blow up some ships, which I believe you can do. That's just not my interest, so I'm not going to go do that. But you can, you can make money in different ways. You'll see in a little bit too, I use the scanner, and with the scanner, you can, find new creatures that have never been seen before, or you can, catalog different plants that are new, and then you get credits for both cataloging them and then uploading them to, kind of the collective knowledge of the universe. And, that's another way you can make decent money. So, it's all up to you. That's one of the things I really, really love about this game. it's kind of open-ended. You can do what you want and how you want, and there's so many different ways to do it. And no way's right, no way's wrong. It's just your play style. I've always personally liked kind of economic aspects of games, where, you gather a lot of materials, trade them, and make money that way. I've never kind of been, I guess, like the shooter type person, where I want to be a pirate. But you'll see that that's probably an important aspect later in the game too, where you are actually forced a few times to, break into facilities and gain new technology, which you'll see is not really well received within the game too, because on each planet there are sentinels. And these sentinels don't like you obviously breaking into buildings, and they also don't like you to kill the wildlife. So, when you get in a little fight with these things, they aren't terribly tough to beat. You're going to have the right technology to beat them, though. I was lucky enough to have it installed, the technology, the first time that I ended up running into them, so it wasn't too bad for me. But if you're unprepared, you're going to be having a bad time. So let's see. Right here, I am fixing the pulse engine, and I fill it up with a little bit of fuel. So let's see if I can jump in there. I need to make it all the way back to my ship. So you see right there on the screen, I have a little logo for my ship in the distance. And if you actually point at the logo that you're traveling to, it'll give you an estimated time of arrival, or how long it'll take you to actually get there. So that's kind of a cool little feature, because you can determine whether or not you want to fly to, like, let's say there's a monument in the distance. You can kind of determine, do I want to fly there, or would it be better if I walk there? I generally don't like spending too much time walking around aimlessly, because it's not usually too productive. I find that the most interesting stuff is at the outposts, or abandoned buildings, any sort of area like that. Of course you can wander into a cave or something and find some pretty interesting stuff, but for the most part, your time is going to be better spent, in my opinion, it's going to be better spent, flying or traveling around, just so you can cover more ground, find some more interesting stuff, and, it's not always going to be super beneficial to walk around, but you never know. And, one person, that's what they might like to do. They might like to walk around, semi-aimlessly and find some cool stuff. It's hard to say, because, I haven't played the game long enough to really weigh the benefits or drawbacks of, walking versus flying. But that's just kind of my gameplay style, I guess. So let's see, right there, I'm just transferring some materials back to my ship so I can gather some more plutonium. And right there, that's a ton. How much do I get? Over 100, I believe. Oh yeah, one last thing. You're going to want to make sure, like, let's say, you're mining some plutonium and your exosuit is full. If you break those crystals, you're not going to get that stuff into your exosuit. You're going to be losing it. So you're going to want to make sure that your exosuit has some extra spaces in it for, either the materials that you're buying or the materials that you're, mining. It's going to be incredibly important to have good item management in the game. Not super, you don't have to have like a ridiculous item management, but at least be aware of how much materials you have on you, how much material you have in your ship. And one of the kind of good rules of thumb is, like, if I have an item where it's got, it's 2 units of iron, I'm probably gonna dump that. I don't think I'm gonna want to keep that in my inventory because it's potential wasted space. Why would I keep 2 iron, which is a pretty common material? Why would I keep 2 iron if I could have, a full, 100 stack of titanium or, some rare material? Okay, so let's see. I think I'm gonna, took off for the first time. Cool little journey milestone accomplished. And let's see what I decided to do here. I think I went directly into space. I don't think I stayed on this planet for very long at all. I wanted to get out and explore. So, like I said, there's no real, tutorial in the game. Just kind of, a little bit of guidance. But for me, I would say that the, kind of like tutorial kind of ends when you are able to create your own fuel for your hyperdrive. Because up to that point, you're pretty much stuck in this area. I would say when the tutorial ends is when you're able to craft your own hyperdrive fuel. Because once you're able to craft your own hyperdrive stuff, the rest of the game is up to you. Because up to that point, you're kind of stuck, buying and selling other people's hyperspace or hyperdrive fuel. So you see right there, that is a beak. And you see right there, the time of arrival will be in 28 seconds. And there's kind of like 4 different speeds you can go in your spaceship. There's just like the regular flying, and this one's kind of a faster boost. And then there's another speed, which I'm sure you've seen like on other No Man's Sky videos, and it's sort of like a little bit it's a lot slower than the hyperdrive, but here you'll see it's like a pulse engine. You can go really, really fast. I don't know what happened right there. I just zoomed right past it and kept going. That was my first time using it, so I wasn't aware of what was going on. But, the slow flying is going to be used for getting out of the atmosphere of the planet. And then you're going to want to do the longer distances, from planet to planet, or maybe even just, getting in close proximity to the space station. You're going to be using that pulse jump that I just did. And then, any, moderate speed, maybe going from like big asteroid to big asteroid, you're going to be wanting to use the a little bit of slower boost. Oh, it wasn't a space station. It's sending me to an actual beacon. So let's see what is at this beacon. So like I was saying before, while there isn't like a tutorial, the actual getting into the game took me about 4 hours of playing. And, I wasn't like, dead set on, getting the hyperdrive. I was exploring a little bit. I was taking my time. And, it took me about 4 hours before I, was able to craft my own fuel and start doing jumps on my own time. And I would say that that's kind of like the end of the tutorial period. So this whole video is going to be kind of skipping past all that, or at least kind of giving you a little bit of a run through of what to expect and what is happening at the beginning of the game, because this stuff to me isn't terribly interesting. It's kind of giving you a sense of the materials you're gathering and the process that you're going to be going through right at the beginning. So this planet is a lot different from the planet I was on before. This one doesn't really have trees. If you kind of saw on the flight in, it kind of has like these weird red pod type things that are all over the place. One of the things I really do like about this game is how all the planets are really, really different. At no point did I feel like I was like on the same planet again, but just in a different place. I saw some water planets, deserts. The last planet on was a little bit cold. You get onto some just insane colored planets, where it's like purple grass and green skies. But what I like is none of it seems, I guess like unrealistic or unfathomable to see in real life. If you were a space explorer. And like this planet is in the same solar system as the planet I started off on, and you can see at the bottom left it's hot. And so you're gonna have to keep an eye on that, and also right below it is your life support system. Now I haven't run out of my life support energy or the kind of your environmental protection, I guess, right there, protection from the environment. I haven't run out of that stuff yet, so I can't really say what it does. I'm sure that when you run out of the protection from the environment, you're gonna be your life support's probably going to be going down like at a rapid rate, and you're probably going to be taking health damage too. So, like I said, this is at the core, it's a survival game, but it's not so much of a survival game to where it's getting in the way, and it's just kind of like another aspect to your exploration. Once you get used to it, it's just one of the things you have to keep an eye on, and it's not resource heavy. It's not really going to be getting in the way so much that you're going to be thinking like, oh no, do I need to get more of these materials? You're going to have the materials on you for the most part. Just one thing to kind of be aware of. Okay, so right here I went to the beacon and it told me to go to this outpost. So let's see what is at the outpost. Okay, so right here I think I'm about to make my first contact with another alien, and just kind of exploring the pad a little bit. So there are different, I guess, races of aliens throughout the game. I haven't met them all yet, but you are not going to be able to understand what they're saying. You actually have to kind of explore some of the planets that they are native to, and you can actually learn some of their language. So you'll find like these monuments throughout the game, and it'll have knowledge stones. And the knowledge stones will teach you one word at a time. So I think the more words that you know with these creatures, the better standing you're going to have with them. And the better standing you have with them, I think the more you're going to have a better ability to make deals with them. They're going to give you more technology, just because you'll interact with them. And I don't even really know what they're saying yet, but you can try to guess what they're saying by, clicking on one of the kind of automated responses you can give. And if it's a good response, they might give you some technology or materials. And if it's a bad response, you're just not going to get anything. So you see right here, this is my first suit upgrade that I get. And you'll see like when I upgrade it, it's going to give me an additional spot right there. So those are incredibly valuable because, you can imagine like those Gek charms right there. You see that? Those you can sell for depending on who you're selling to, anywhere from, like 10 to 20 or 30,000 credits. So that's pretty huge. If you like to be a trader in the game, those exosuit spaces are going to be super, super important because it'll mean more money. Okay, so you see right here, I got some technology for my multi-tool. And, okay, let's see. Oh, I can't interact with them again because I don't have enough carbon. But, there's probably an infinite amount of those creatures you can interact with. Even when you're flying around just aimlessly around a planet, you're gonna probably see these outposts maybe every, I don't know, minute or 2 minutes or so. So, if you don't get the response that you wanted at this outpost, you might be able to find one nearby that will you'll be able to guess correctly on or gather more technology. So don't be discouraged when you end up not getting the correct response for these people, because you're going to have a lot more opportunities in the future to be able to do that. Okay, so let's see what I do right here. Okay, so you saw at the bottom right it said that you have to build a hyperdrive, and to do that I need to go to the space station. So I think that I'm still just kind of figuring out the feel of the ship. And you see right there, those are the trees. Okay, so you see right here, I just left the planet, and I'm gonna make my first visit to the space station. So I think right there, I'm just trying to kind of figure out where it is, and found it. So I'm gonna kind of blast over there with that really fast movement. What's it, the pulse drive. I'm gonna go over there with the pulse drive, and that'll kind of be my first stop at a space station. Okay, so there you go. I got to the first space station. And now, I think everybody's first space station is going to look different. In fact, I think every single space station looks different because, once again, I think everything in this game is procedurally generated. So, your space station is not going to look like my space station. Your ship is probably not going to look like my ship either. So you'll see here, this is my first visit, and you go into, there's two doors. One of them I'm not able to access yet. You have to have, I think you have to be a little bit further along in the game. So here is kind of like a trading portal, I guess, where you can buy and sell items within the game. So let's see what I buy right here. Okay, so you see right there the dynamic resonator. I don't know if I ended up needing one of those. Ooh, insufficient funds. I have 0 units right now. So I can sell some of my units, or some of my items for additional units. You'll see right here. So let's see, what can I sell? But you'll see right here, this is the first time I really understand that mining is a good way to make money. Because, I sold just a little bit right there, and that was all from just shooting up a few asteroids. And I made, almost 3,000 units just from doing that. So let's see, I think I need that dynamic resonator. I can't remember what I'm supposed to do right now, but I need that dynamic resonator, and I need 32,000 units, so I'm pretty far away from doing that. So I think I go and I'm going to skip forward a little bit and see what I actually did here. Okay, so I decided that I actually did need to go and mine. So when you're out in space, there are asteroids everywhere. And there's usually 2 types of asteroids. There's these there's smaller ones, which are actually going to give you fuel for, I think, your pulse engine, I think you'll be able to fuel your pulse engine with them. And then there's also bigger asteroids, which usually have like a more uncommon type metal in them. So you can find nickel, copper, or other elements. And you'll see right here, I'm going to go travel over to a few of them. And, I'll probably skip through a bunch of this stuff. So all this will be in fast motion. But you see I'm kind of gathering Thamium, which is going to power my pulse drive. And then I'm going to end up finding a big asteroid here in a second that will give me the rare materials I need. All those materials that I just mined off the asteroids, I'm actually going to go sell those now. And, you go back to this portal, you interact with it, and then you're going to be able to sell items from both your exosuit and also your ship's storage. So here we go, ship inventory, and look at all that copper. That's going to be 23,000 units, and that was only maybe 5 minutes of mining. So you can gain a lot of money just from mining, just a little bit. And I was kind of unaware of this, but there's other ways you can make some serious money in this game outside of just this. And I'll probably cover that in a later video where you can make 1 million units just standing right there by your ship, by trading with other aliens in the area. So let's see what I did here. I think the next thing I need to do is build a hyperdrive, there we go. So I'm going to build a hyperdrive, but I need to fuel it. And to fuel it, that is going to be kind of the end portion of your tutorial. You need some materials that you can't get really this early on. And the first part of it is you're just going to end up getting the fuel for your hyperdrive from an alien. But later on, you're actually going to be able to get the recipe for the hyperdrive. And once you can get their recipe, that's kind of the end of the tutorial period of the game. And I'm using tutorial very lightly because it's not a typical tutorial. You're still completely playing the game, but you'll be able to actually fly around as you please after that. Okay, so here I'm going to interact with the alien that's going to give me some pieces for the hyperdrive fuel, and I think he's going to give me some antimatter. And antimatter is just one of the ingredients that you need to craft the fuel for your hyperdrive. Later on, you'll end up getting the recipe for the antimatter. And in my opinion, once you get the recipe for the antimatter, that's going to kind of be the end of the tutorial area. And, like I keep saying, it's like a tutorial. It's not really, but, once you're able to craft the antimatter all on your own and create the warp fuel, that is kind of, in my opinion, like when you're able to do all the traveling you want, you can do anything in the game. So there you go. You see the first warp cell. Let's see when I do my very first jump. So I'm going to skip forward to that. Okay, so here we go. I'm about to do my first hyper jump, and it kind of pops you into this additional map. And every single one of those stars you can see, there are multiple planets orbiting each one. And you can actually see, I think when you click on them, it'll actually show you how many planets are there and what type of star it is. And you can see there's little, like different colored stars. So there's green, some white, some red. And I tried clicking on one of those, and you actually need an upgraded hyperdrive to be able to get to those. So I tried to jump to this one, but you cannot do it. You need a tau warp reactor there. So, it's going to be a little bit later on in the game that I'll probably be able to get to those. But you see that highlighted line right there? I believe that is the quickest route to the center of the galaxy. So if you really want to beat the game, or see whatever's at the center, that's going to be your fastest route. So here you go. I'm going to do my first jump, and it looks all crazy like that. And I'll probably conclude the video at the end of this just because, it's a good ending point. But if you liked the video, I mean, this is my very first one, so, there will be more to come. But if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If you hated it, give me a thumbs down. Or even some constructive criticism's good, I mean, if you want me to be less informative, more informative, if you want me to be funnier, or even if you just want me to shut up and do silent gameplay, I'll do it all. You know what? Also, let me know if you guys would be interested in me doing streaming, because I know that's pretty popular with No Man's Sky. Leave a comment. Let me know if that's something you'd be willing to watch, and I can get that put together pretty quickly for you guys. So, once again, like, comment, dislike if you didn't like it, and subscribe for some better No Man's Sky videos in the near future. Thanks. Bye.